Marketing your practice without the digital world. Yeah, you heard that right, actually. How to market your practice without the use of the internet in the world of the most cutting edge technology yet. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how you do that. Welcome to the TCM Teach podcast, the business podcast designed exclusively for acupuncturists and Chinese medicine herbalists who want to grow sustainable, patient-centered practices without relying solely on social media algorithms. I'm Matthew Sabi Smith, licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, professor, and entrepreneur, and today we're diving into local marketing, practical, in-person ways to connect with your community, build trust, and attract patients who are a perfect fit for your practice. So we're going to cover community talks, farmers markets, and partnerships, giving you actionable strategies to put your clinic on the local map and cultivate true, authentic relationships that last. So, with that said, we're going to dive in right after my little disclaimer. Simply please remember, I'm a practitioner here to support you on your journey. The information shared in this podcast is intended for educational and learning purposes only, and for specific guidance to your business, please consult with the appropriate licensed professional. Thank you. Okay, my friends. So why local marketing still matters? Local in-person interactions create not only trust, but credibility. They could put a name to a face. And that's really important when it comes to practice. You are handing medicine that's going into somebody. You are sticking needles into somebody. Whether you practice acupuncture, whether you practice herbs, whether you practice both, whether you do primarily tuina, gua sha, cupping, you're actively working with these people. It's really nice to get to know who you're going to be working with. And that's really important. So if you can get used to local marketing, and I've done this very successfully, very simply, you're going to reach patients who are actively seeking care, and you're not just chasing followers. You're not just passively chasing followers for something out of your control. You're not doing that here. Local marketing is in person. You are doing it on feet on the ground, you yourself. So community engagement positions you as a go-to expert in your area of expertise, as well as your actual local area where your clinic resides. While digital marketing is powerful, and I don't discourage you from using it, but some people, I know acupuncturists where this is even their retirement job. They're just like, I want to stay busy. I want to stay sharp. No pun intended there with needles. And the reality is, they don't feel like keeping up with certain technologies. And to be honest, I don't blame them after finishing a full career. A lot of you listening to this podcast, that may not be you, but for some of you that are, I hear you. And anyone can use these methods. The takeaway I want you to get from this is digital marketing is powerful, but local presence is what actually builds loyalty, and word of mouth is extremely powerful in building a practice. The only thing here is you can't be afraid to use your voice. You can't be afraid to speak up. And you kind of need to do that to work with people. You have to speak to them. You have to be able to have contact to work with a patient. So here's an idea: community talks and workshops. Now, I understand in school you may have hated projects where you stand in front of the class and you speak. Well, guess what? Public speaking, it gets easier with time. Take it from me, someone who does it all the time. It's not like I don't still get a little adrenaline kick with every new class that I teach, with every new experience I have or new subject. You get used to it. You learn how to deal with it, and you learn how to deal with being a little uncomfortable. And ultimately, that actually creates more comfort. So I want to talk to you about community talks and workshops. You can offer educational talks at places like libraries, wellness centers, local groups that may fit within your niche. You could even set up a booth at a coffee shop if you want, with the permission from the coffee shop owner or whatever. Hey, free tongue and pulse diagnosis here. Ooh, what's that? And people start asking questions. The idea here is, what's your goal? So you want to focus on patient education, not just promotion for yourself. That's the byproduct. You're educating people, and then the people who will actually come see you, ooh, how or where do I learn more? You want to keep talks interactive and solution oriented. This is something I have done teaching practice management a lot for acupuncture students. Is you want to be solution oriented. I run into a lot of issues when my students do one of these mock presentations. Actually, it's one of the final projects that they have to do that I make them run through. Okay, you have 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes it depends on the size of the class, to pitch yourself and tell us why you can help us. So your objective is, who are you speaking to, and who are you trying to ultimately not just get into your clinic, but educate? Who are you really trying to educate? You want to keep the talks interactive and solution oriented. Like I said, you don't want to be like, hi, my name is Dr. Matt and I'm an acupuncturist and I think I can help you with pain and headaches. Like, you lost me at, hi, my name is, right? It's not interactive. It's not fun. It's not exciting. And I understand not everyone is outgoing, but like I said, you just have to practice. You have to practice your speaking. Solution oriented. You're giving a talk on, say, back pain to, I don't know, a room full of powerlifters. I just use that because that's a world that I understand. So you're doing a talk on low back pain to powerlifters. Cool. Hey, gym owner, can I come in and give a talk to the powerlifters on Friday night? We can get together and I would love to just provide some education that maybe could help some people out. I'll provide some ideas on myofascial release. I'll explain how acupuncture works. And that's really all I'm doing. And the byproduct, so the part you don't have to say, the byproduct of that is you are going to get people asking more questions, because guess what? You are the expert in the room. So you want to bring a simple call to action at the end. If you get someone to ask you more questions, oh, well, I've had sciatica for a really long time, or when I'm done deadlifting, you know, or post competition, my low back gets really tight. Well, yeah, totally. I'd be happy to help you with that if you want. Do you want to take down my number? Do you want to schedule an appointment? It's like that easy. Or the call to action could be, come in for a free consult, or download a resource here to grab their email, or follow me on Patreon. Here we are. Or join my newsletter. The key is get something for them to commit to. If it's newsletter, you need their email. If it's Patreon, they need to follow you on Patreon, which you still get their email, by the way. If it is download a resource, you probably still get their email. If you're handing something out, so this is what I want you to be careful of here. If you're giving handouts, like a sheet of paper, there's no buy-in for them to provide like an email or a way to follow up with you. The handout will sit on the seat of the car and then it's like forgotten about. It becomes trash a week later. What it could be, I have a free resource. I have these free booklets here. If you provide your email to my newsletter, like some incentive. If you provide your newsletter, I'd be happy to send you this resource. I'd be happy to hand you this resource. Don't just hand out resources. It's like mailing something in the mail. To be honest with you, I think when I get mailers, like marketing in my mail, most of the time I don't even look at it. I just throw it away. Right? This credit card company wants to work with me. No, I don't care. I don't need one. Or, oh, there's deals at the local grocery store. Well, I don't even shop there. Okay. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Some people are into that, but for acupuncture, do you realize how many people you might actually be missing within that type of marketing scheme? Because not everyone's even open to acupuncture. They need a face, someone to understand what they're talking about. Someone who is clearly passionate. Oh, I didn't know that acupuncture could help my low back pain. Oh, I didn't know acupuncture could help my performance. I didn't know herbs could make my cold go away faster, or at least make the symptoms feel not as bad. So here's the thing, teaching. Now, I used to teach a fourth grade classroom before I was teaching graduate students. I understand teaching. I love teaching. I love coaching. Coaching and teaching go very hand in hand for me. The idea here is teaching, educating, builds trust and positions you as an expert while gently guiding people towards your clinic. This is not like selling a car. Hey, can I help you today? Do you want to buy this car for $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, whatever? I don't know what cars you drive, but I think generally that's a good range for average commuters. The idea here is you're putting yourself in a position of authority. People are going to trust you. This is why people trust social media. The reason people trust social media influencers is because they have the gall to talk about something, even if it's controversial, and they understand. The followers are like, I agree with that or I don't. But you know what? This person is in my phone right now, or I'm listening to this person right now. You're listening to me on this podcast right now, right? I am the expert speaking to you about growing your practice, growing your clinic. And in this episode, we're talking about local marketing. So you can do that just in person. And it can be very fun. It's actually very rewarding. Just have fun with it. That's why I love teaching and educating and coaching. I genuinely have a good time. Okay, farmers markets and pop-up events. So the pop-up event, like in the gym I told you about, that could be an example. But I have a story to share about this too. So you could set up a booth. You could demonstrate acupuncture principles, herbs, or wellness tips. That's great, but like, thanks for the free advice, didn't really need it, blah, 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 move on, forget about you. The idea is you want to keep interactions short, friendly, and educational. You want to offer giveaways like herb samples, something generic, or like tea, guides, or mini consultations. But in return, you're getting something back, like an email address. Or texting marketing is actually really popular too, a phone number. You want to collect contact information somehow. Because then you can follow up with them. Hey, we had a great chat. I really loved meeting you. If there's any way I can help you, please let me know. Or they're just following your newsletter. People like to try before they buy. I think that makes sense. Anyone who's a natural skeptic, myself included, doesn't just go and like buy or just go and do something. I actually do pretty heavy research before I kind of dive into something. I think that's just human nature. It's a protection mechanism. How do I protect myself and make sure I'm putting myself in a safe and good situation here? I heard from my friend that acupuncture is not real or it's fake. Well, guess what? They're going to be learning acupuncture from the expert who is you, who may completely shift their understanding of what it is because maybe their friend didn't even work with an acupuncturist for all we know. We have no idea. But you want these events to be low pressure. They're ways to meet potential patients and start building relationships. And by the way, you could take this on a grandeur scale to talks at a hospital, speaking to MDs. I actually make my students practice this as well. Okay, you're presenting to a group of oncologists. Talk about how you can support cancer care along with conventional treatment, right? Not a lot of people think about that, unless they're an acupuncturist, of course. But the fact that you can actually show how the ways you can help with immunomodulation through chemotherapy treatment, through hormone treatments. Like not all MDs, DOs are going to know that. You can actually open their eyes to something like that. Oh, Well, I heard acupuncture could really help with your nausea. So let's do it. Let's try it. So I want to share a little story with you here where I have a good friend of mine who I went to school with who ran into an acupuncturist who was running a full booked out clinic. And so she asked the acupuncturist, "How did you build your practice?" And he said, "I did one thing. It was all word of mouth. I set up at the farmer's market. I set up a booth at the farmer's market and I offered free tongue and pulse readings. And the rest was history." So the practitioner would take their Saturday morning, sit at the farmer's market, and offer free pulse and tongue diagnosis. And of course, people are going to ask more questions. "Oh, is your sleep off? Oh, do you have allergies? Oh, it seems like your digestion is a little off in your guan position. Oh, do you wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. to pee?" Like, that blows people's minds. I love blowing people's minds, by the way. That's like what keeps acupuncture so much fun. Chinese medicine in general, the diagnosis is fun. When you could provide those solutions, which are seemingly simple. "Oh, you have painful periods? We can actually help with the cramps, so maybe you actually won't have to deal with them anymore, or it may not be as intense." Because one little window in your diagnosis shows a cascading effect. It opens up so much more to understanding, like, oh, there's a lot more here than you just waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. to pee. Right. So anyway, back to the story. The acupuncturists built their whole practice just giving free tongue and pulse diagnosis at the farmer's market. And then the patients want to come in to see them. Wow, this person really seems to understand me in an angle that no other practitioner has really talked to me about before. Or, oh, that really aligns with what this practitioner was telling me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so something as simple as that, a free booth at a farmer's market, could potentially build your whole practice. Because remember here, especially like the younger students that I get, they think they have to like make it huge on social media to run a successful practice. They have to have all of the social media channels. They have to offer everything for free. They have to make a million courses. They have to have their podcast. Like, I tell you all the things you can do. You don't have to do all of them. I'm here to give you ideas and help guide you the best that I can to find something that is worthwhile for you. You don't even have to be online to run a successful practice. Like, let me repeat that. You do not even have to be online to run a successful practice. Think about partnerships. Okay, this is next. This is part 4 that I wrote down today. Partnerships with local businesses. I've done this too. Collaborate with yoga studios, gyms, wellness centers, natural food stores. You can give a little talk, set up a little booth. You could collab, right? Oh, we're going to do yin yoga today, and let's finish shavasana with yin tongue. A yin tongue needle and do 20 or whatever. And people are going to feel amazing. They're going to love it. They're going to want more. They're going to ask more questions. Or you're just going to keep running that event and splitting the cost with the yoga studio or whatever. Gyms, I already gave you an example. Gyms is something I'm very familiar with. You can give a little talk, something a lot of athletes deal with or fitness people deal with. Wellness centers, could be any kind of wellness center. That can be pretty vague, but acupuncture fits very well in wellness centers. Natural food stores, you could, hey, free tongue and pulse diagnosis event today. It's pretty easy. The idea is cross-promotion. So cross-promotion can be very helpful even through word of mouth because a trusted business is letting you into the doorway of their audience. So for example, you're going to a yoga studio that has 200 students. You're doing this yin yoga with yin tongue and do 20 on Saturday afternoon. And now you have exposure in the yoga newsletter and people are talking, the yoga studio is talking about what you're offering together. Guess what? You just got a new pool of 200 members that could potentially be interested in acupuncture. Now, not all of them, but let's put it this way. If it was a significantly smaller percentage of the 200 members, maybe you could get 20 people asking more questions. 20 people is a good amount of patience, or even 20 conversations. That's a lot of conversations to have. A lot of booked out clinics as a single practitioner. I want you to think about practitioners that you have seen run successful practices in the past and how many patients they saw per week. Like, take a second, think about that. I have seen very successful practices run on 40 patients a week. Some people go more the community route and they treat significantly more, but I've also seen people charge more and work on significantly less, like 20 patients a week, maybe even 10 patients a week if they're, premium price. The beauty is if you're running your own practice, you get to make these calls. You get to see what your capacity is. But imagine 20 people walking through your door because of an event, because you were advertising, you were cross-pollinating with the yoga studio. Now, if you do that for 2 yoga studios in your area, you're on 2 events once a month or whatever. And that yoga studio has another 200 members or 50 members. Great. Now, maybe that yoga studio has 5 people who are interested. You just got 25 people interested in asking more questions about acupuncture. And all you did was cross-pollinate with 2 yoga studios. So think about that. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just make connections and talk. Share what you do. You can do the cross promotions as workshops, joint events, referral systems, sharing audiences. You obviously can't share any HIPAA data of any kind, but you can run health events and gather those emails, right? So you want to ensure partnerships are simply aligned with your values and your audience. People who do yoga tend to like acupuncture. People who love going out to the bar and getting wasted every night may not be as into acupuncture. Or maybe they are because they want help with their liver. Who knows? But my point being is find things, places that are aligned with what you do and people who are willing to listen, because it's really not fun to be in a place where no one's going to listen. That's bad marketing on your part. So the key takeaway really is strategic partnerships are going to extend your reach and credibility in the local community. And it doesn't have to take much. You just have to have the confidence to go out and try and do something. And consistency always wins. So what do you think the TCM lens on local marketing would be? So in TCM, relationships and trust are obviously essential. Local marketing allows your clinical presence to resonate in a tangible way, and authenticity is key. So patients sense when you're genuinely serving the community. Use your yi, your intellect. That's important. It's very important. Local engagement is an extension of your care philosophy. People want to see your face. They want to try before they buy. They want to talk to you. Is this person going to listen to me? Is this person going to understand me? Is this person like way too weird? I can never have a conversation with them. Making local marketing sustainable. How do you do it? You can start small. You could do 1 community talk or event per month. That could be the foot in the door. It's a snowball effect. You do well for 5 patients. 5 patients tell 5 other people. That's a lot of people. 5 patients even tell 1 other person. Each of those people now come through the door. Now you just double your clinic. Now you got 10 people. And then the next month, those 10 people tell 10 other people. Great. Now you got 20 people coming in. Okay, and now you got 20 people. You made 5 people feel all better. They don't need to see you anymore. They just come in for maintenance. Great. You have maintenance people coming in now. Now you got 20 people talking about you. Great. Maybe you have 40 people come in. It can be that much of a snowball effect if you're willing to take some time to talk about what you do and market. Okay, so 1 community talk event per month. Start there. Don't make it overwhelming. Don't make it crazy. You want to rotate between talks. You could do markets and partnerships. to avoid burnout. Diversify, mix it up. But if you find a formula that works, just stick to it and do it. You can track your impact. How many leads did I actually generate from this today? How many consults did I actually book? And get patient feedback. How did you find me? What brought you in today? How many free consults did I do? How many free consults actually resulted in booked paid sessions? So the key takeaway is consistency over volume. Consistency, and I will add quality over volume, is the key to lasting results in your clinic. Local marketing is not about flashy promotions. It's about authentic presence, teaching, and relationship building. So when you do that thoughtfully, it brings highly aligned patients to your door and strengthens your community reputation. So with that said, of course, I have a companion resource in the Practitioner Hub on Patreon, which if you're not there, you should be there now. You can even just follow as a free member. Actually, in this episode, I'm going live for all of my free and paid Patreon members right now. Hi, everybody. So if you want a step-by-step guide for designing local marketing events or creating partnerships and following up with potential patients, check out the TCM Teach membership on Patreon. So that's where I'm going to provide companion resources, high-quality downloads, video, all the good stuff. Every single episode. And you can see all of the previous episodes and download all those too. So in our next episode, we'll be diving into SEO basics. So we are going to talk about digital stuff too, because of course, I'm here to give you all the ideas. You pick what aligns with you. Resonance frequencies, everybody. SEO basics. So getting found on somewhere like Google as a local acupuncturist. How do you do that? So SEO, if you don't know, is search engine optimization. It has been a little changed with artificial intelligence, but it is still very applicable. It's just AI sifts through a lot of things now, and you can actually show up in some of those AI searches too. So we're still staying current. So until then, something to look forward to. But thanks for listening to the TCM Teach podcast. We'll see you next time.